Hey, um, so this has been on my mind for a few years, actually, and I've held a lot of shame around this, and I wanted to open up about this because I think it's important to culturally to like break down some of these cultural norms that we have around being parents that I think are kind of um, I don't know, destructive and shameful. And I notice in my life that I have a lot of shame around a lot of different stuff, and it's wreaked havoc in my life. Um, and if I can help you reduce some of your shame in your life, then I feel like maybe my time on Earth was worth it. so um, when I first became a dad, um, I was kind of excited. Um, I don't know what it is about my upbringing or my psychological state, but I was excited, but I wasn't like, wow, I've always wanted a kid. Um, but I always kind of knew that, and I don't want to appear being like selfish or prideful, but I kind of knew that I would probably be a pretty good dad. And I knew that the spirits in heaven who are going to come down and take on bodies. Um, that's because I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We believe that spirits come down in the form of when their spirits and or their souls or spirits and bodies combine, it becomes a real person, living person, and so I felt like I would take care of one of those souls, you know. And then when we had our kid, um, it was really really hard. It was really really difficult, and I honestly did not feel much affection for my son for the first few years. And I held a lot of shame around that because culturally, and I think in my uh, church or religion, um, families are very sacred, and there's something that is a central to part of God's plan. And I didn't feel any affection towards my son when he was a baby. He was kind of an eating, crying blob that I didn't really feel much affection to. It was just give, 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 give. And I don't think I've ever given so much of myself to something that that gave me very little in return. And from a entrepreneur's perspective, from a business perspective, like when I'm not all about when I give, I get stuff back, but there's a point at which you've given so much that you expect to start getting things in return, and relatively quickly. you know, I think I'm pretty generous when it comes to business and with my advice and stuff. But when it came to having Arlo, it was really really hard. I didn't get any return on investment from him, and I felt really shameful, like I wasn't a good dad. I thought, am I going to be able to love my son? I actually thought that, and that was a really really difficult feeling, thought to have, because I was also, just from religion and from culturally, you see movies where parents are just overjoyed to have their first kid and they can't wait, and we were like, we had Arlo so quickly, and we have friends of ours who have been struggling for years to have children. We just like all of a sudden had a kid, and so there's a lot of shame around that, and I just want to let you know, if you are in that same position, if you kind of if you are worried about that as a new parent or somebody who wants to have children, if you're worried about, or maybe if you don't even want to have children, but you know you should have children, or that you feel like it's your responsibility to have children, I can tell you that it gets better. And raising another human being is very, very rewarding. And Arlo is 3 now, and he's blossomed into this personality, and he's communicating with us, and he's talking with us, um, and he has this very unique personality that we're starting to see emerge, and it's almost impossible not to love this kid. And and this just developed kind of within the past year or so for him. And um, now when I see babies, what's really interesting is now when I see kids, I never was interested in kids before, like small children or babies or infants. Now when I see them, my whole perspective has changed. Um, I I think they're adorable, and I love holding on to them because I think what happens is I see what they're able to become, and now I appreciate that moment in life where they're an infant and they're still learning and growing. And I never used to love like hold babies or kids, infants. I thought they were annoying. Um, when babies would cry, I'd go, "Why don't you quiet that baby down?" I was one of those people, and now I have so much more understanding towards parents and kids, and so anyways, the feeling has changed, and I do love Arlo, and sometimes when we're reading books at night, I'll look over at him and watch him like just wrinkle his nose and like close his eyes and make these faces like he's just experimenting with all this stuff, and I just can't stop looking at him. I know I mean, I think if it was anybody else's kid or anybody else for that matter, I'd be a total creeper. But I just love looking at Arlo and looking at him. The synapses firing and his brain is growing, and the personality that emerges, and how sensitive he is. And anyways, it's just if you have any shame around that, I just want you to know it's okay, and that if you do feel like that, it's a pretty good sign that you're going to be a good parent. Because I don't think good parents or loving parents worry about that kind of stuff. I think good loving parents do worry about that, and it does get better. So, anyways, if that's helpful for just one person, then I've done my job. So, anyways, I'll talk to you later. See ya.